Guys, my name is Nonima Dikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about how it went with the recusal of uJonasi, which was called an excuse because uJadrata ended up saying that I'm excusing you. So uJadrata, you know that he's smart. He was a football player. He's a former football player. He never wants to look like the bad guy. He has those characteristics of someone who I don't want to be at the wrong. I don't want to be wronging people. Even if there's no need for him to do that, he will make sure that he does that. So after the entire CV and everything, he started having these talks, and then he turned now to Jonasi and say, after he tried to shield him and tell the public that Jonas did not do anything wrong. Gaia, we are watching the case. We know what is it that he did wrong. We are not accusing him of anything else, but what we know that he did wrong. There is something that he did that was not right. That's the bottom line. Whether he likes it or not, we don't care. The bottom line, it happened. That's the truth of it all at this point. Because now he does not know anything about accountability. Both the judge and Jonas, they don't want any accountability when it comes to the matter. So we don't care how both of them feel. The bottom line is that uJonasi did something wrong and they've been talking to him about it. He knows the truth, but he's a man that does not like to take accountability. That says something about his character as a person. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what Jadrata did, he did what he does best, Kesana. Something happened in that courtroom, and most people, I'm sure they missed it because now the judge sat there, did not want to be wrong in the eyes of Jonasi for whatever reason. I don't care. He looked at uJonasi, Mr. Jonasi, the interpreter, and said in simple terms, if you're he was like told that he was advised that if Jonasi's presence makes the accused feel like they are not getting a fair trial, then he must decide whether he wants to continue or not. Think about it. Because that one statement just flipped the entire courtroom dynamic upside down. He is not at the wrong. He's shifting the entire Dontoni to uJonasi. He's shifting the burden back to uJonasi. Uzothini ke ngoku kind of vibes. Chomi sekunjena uzothini ke ngoku. He's like Chomi sekunjena inyekenyeke ke Chomi imbi injalo ndiyakutshela. Ngiyakutshela ke sana inyekenyeke imbi injalo so uzothini ke ngoku Chomi sekunjalo uzothini. And then now into yokuqala the law has changed. uJadrata spoke about that, but has the court? No, it didn't. There was a time in South Africa where Jadrata was giving us this speech. There was a time in South Africa where a judge had an absolute authority. Before the Constitution of South Africa was born, I guess after 1994, Parliament was supreme, judges applied the law, courtroom control was absolute. If a judge wanted an interpreter gone, that interpreter was gone. No questions asked, but today, everything has changed. Now we have constitutional supremacy, labor protections, procedural fairness, and under Labor Relations Act, you cannot just remove someone from their job without due process. So when the judge says, I cannot fire him, he can sue me, he's absolutely correct. But here is where things are getting dangerous. No one said anything about firing Jonas from his actual job. You need to switch people. We want a Zulu-speaking person. I mean, Jonas is a Xhosa-speaking person. And also, there are some of the things that he does not interpret. There are some of the words of Izulu he doesn't understand. And on top of that, he's emotional, he loses temper, and he does not want to be corrected. So when did anyone say fire him? Nobody did. Urata gave that lecture also about labor relations. I was confused as F because I'm like, how did we get to labor relations now? Because no one is fired. uJonasi does not work for Rata. He doesn't report to Rata, nor to Baloyi. He reports to the court people that work inside the court. This Ubaloyi works for NPA, uJadrata works for the judiciary, Abba work for the court inside. So what is this? I was very confused. But it is what it is. Now, because now there was a collision of rights here. Two powerful rights collide in real time. The interpreter rights, job security, dignity, protection from unfair dismissal, of which no one was like that. As I said, no one said anything about dismissing Jonasi from his actual job. No one said anything about that. But again, this is Judge Ratta, and he does things in his own ways. And now the accused rights, a fair trial right, the right to understand proceedings, proper interpretation. And here is the truth most people don't want to say out loud. In a criminal trial, the accused rights are superior. That's one is very important, always, because if the trial is not fair, the entire case collapses. Now, the moment everything shifted, now listen carefully to what the judge did next. Instead of making a ruling, instead of investigating the complaints, instead of protecting the integrity of the trial, he says, let the interpreter decide if he wants to continue. No, 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 no. That's not how things work, because legally the judge is the guardian of fairness, not the interpreter, not the accused. By shifting that decision, he has done something sacred but powerful. He has shifted responsibility away from the bench, which is him, and to Jonasi. He is acting like me. My hands are clean. I didn't do anything to you. I had nothing to do with this. It's these ones that did this to you. So we see right through you what you are doing. Oh, please. We see right through you what you are doing, sir. We see you. Now, this is why this is a problem. Think about the consequences. If the interpreter stays, the accused say we are not getting a fair trial. If the interpreter leaves, it looks like an admission of incompetence. Either way, the record is contaminated. And that is exactly what in the appeal court they look for, because the Judge Ratta should have handled this differently. And he failed, because later someone would stand up and say, my client did not understand the proceedings, objections were not interpreted, the trial was fundamentally unfair. And once that argument lands, the entire case is in danger. And that is what Judge Ratta was running away from. And the real question nobody's asking, this is no longer about Mr. Jonasi. This is no longer about attitude or tone or mood. The real question is, who is controlling fairness in that courtroom? Because right now, it doesn't look like the judge. Let me leave all of this game because Sana Judge Ratta Mofokeng is a dribbler, because he was once a soccer star. A courtroom is not just about evidence. It's about process. And when the process starts shifting, when the responsibility starts moving, when the judge stops making decisions or firm rulings, that collapses everything. That's when that's when cases don't collapse loudly, they collapse quietly from the inside. And by the time everyone realizes it, it's already done and it's late. Now, that is why Judge Ratta was shifting the entire situation back to Jonas, because he wanted no responsibility of it all. We saw right through him. If you missed it, there it is. I saw all of it, and I've given all of you everything that you may have missed there. Thank you so much, and I will see you on our next video. Do enjoy your day. Bye-bye.